Hi everyone, Fraser here from the Most Dangerous Podcast. If you've been enjoying the show, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It really helps us to reach more people like you who love the show. Also, you can follow us on Instagram at The Most Dangerous Pod and join the conversation on Facebook at The Most Dangerous Podcast. For those of you who want to go the extra mile, we're on Buy Me a Coffee. So if you'd like to support the show with a small donation, it would mean the world to us. And if you have any suggestions or feedback and want to get in touch, you can email us at jamesandfraserpod@gmail.com. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Get the excitement in there.
Yeah.
Sounds it's great, yeah.
Started taking quite heavy medication today.
Hello and welcome back to the Most Dangerous Podcast. I'm James. I'm back from the dead, and over there is Fraser. How you doing, Fraser?
I'm good, James. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. And happy Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, happy Valentine's Day to you as well. Do you buy into all that shit?
No, I mean, we've sort of traditionally bought each other a card and kind of the usual, like a couple of pounds worth of Valentine's tat. You know, like a
Yeah.
I'm digging myself into a hole here. Laura actually bought me some really nice shower gel and some spray and stuff, but just inexpensive stuff. Little bag, few gifts. There we go. That's it. We're not going out for dinner tonight or anything like that.
Well, clearly not, because you're here.
Well, yes, yeah, and she's a cheer. So
life gets in the way. No, we don't really kind of go for all that. I mean, well, you know my circumstances, so yeah, we definitely don't go for that anymore. So I did get a card. I didn't send a card or anything, so. Not really. But we kind of sort of grew out of it anyway. I think when you're first new into a relationship and stuff, you kind of go all in. But then, as it develops, you kind of stop going.
Well, I fully believe that Valentine's Day is actually for people that aren't a couple. That maybe you go and declare your love for someone that you fancied for a while or something. I don't think Valentine's Day for me is for people that have been together for 5 years.
I'm going to be a bit cynical here, and I don't think it's for any of those people because I think it's just an absolute cash grab.
Yes,
and it's for card makers and florists and things like that to spin it so they can make a bit of money. But that's
the Americans have got a name. Is it a Hallmark holiday? Because wasn't Hallmark like a big card?
Oh yeah, I think we get Hallmark here, don't we? Yeah. So that's what it is for me, a big cash grab. As everybody knows, I was away last week, so I'm back again. So back to the original party. So thanks, Rich, for stepping in. We know that he listens.
Yeah, and he was, he was watching the football whilst he did it, but still, he was there.
He was there. He put in a good shift. So thanks for stepping in, Rich. It's just a few things going on in the background, so I couldn't make it last week. But here I am, back again.
Yes, and I really want to thank Rich and Tyler for their efforts the last few weeks. It was brilliant to have them both on and to do something a little bit different. But I've kind of also really looked forward to just getting back to normal as well. It's been
it's been a bit of a roller coaster, hasn't it? Yeah. Like I also echo those sentiments, if you like, if that's the right phrase. It's been because that's the first time we've ever really done it. To get guests on. I thought it went really well. So thanks, guys, for
they were both brilliant,
for joining in. And I really enjoyed it. So we'll get them back on at some point. Mm-hmm. But we are back to our original format, if you like. Yes. And we're sticking on American highways.
I know. And with you being off last week and leaving me at the wheel on my own, I told a story about fucking Canada.
I did listen to it, actually, yeah. Well done.
I read it and I'm like...
You had one job.
See, like I'm Scottish, right? As people have probably guessed, and it really annoys me when foreign people think that Scotland's like a part of England and stuff, and they assume that
and you did exactly the same thing.
The same thing. I read. I just assumed. I saw Denny's, and I thought, right, that'll do. That's Denny's. I've been to America. There's a Denny's there. That'll do.
Yeah.
And it was when I'm reading it to Rich, and I'm going Calgary, and I felt sweat starting to build up the back of my neck, and I fucked this whole pod. But anyway, apologise, America. Sorry.
Well, arguably Canada is part of America, isn't it? Because it's like North America. Well, if Donald Trump gets his way, but what I mean is, it's like North America.
Yeah,
it's like the continent America. So I mean, I'm going to try and twist something a little bit here in my little tale, anyway. But we'll come to that anyway in a bit. Before we do, I just wanted to sort of bring something to your attention.
Go on,
if I can find it. I don't know if you've come across this before. Oh, I've lost it. Hang on.
Well, let me tell you very quickly while you're looking for it. I saw a story today about a man that got swallowed by a humpback whale and then spat back out.
I saw that, yeah.
Did you see it?
I saw the video, yeah. I didn't read anything about it. But yeah, that was scary, that, wasn't it? His dad, I think, was filming him.
I don't know. Someone was filming him, but was it his dad? It just swallows him, canoe and everything.
Yeah. And then just pops up. Yeah, it was his dad. And then his dad's in the background going, just stay calm. It's all right. I bet his dad wasn't staying calm.
No. Yeah.
If you dig that out, it's been all over social media. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was like recent. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he was in there long enough, like Geppetto, to build a wee house and a fire and stuff.
No, it was literally a second, wasn't it? You just pass it out, yeah.
You would shit yourself, wouldn't you?
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, you really would. The thing that I come across is a bill proposed in Mississippi, a recent bill, and it's called Contraception Begins at Erection Act.
What?
So this is the premise of it. This is the kind of like nuts and bolts.
Right.
So the law contains this particular phrase. It would be unlawful for a person to discharge genetic material without the intent to fertilize an embryo. Right? So
right.
The proposed bill would impose a $1,000 fine for a first-time offender, £5,000 fine for a second offence, and a $10,000 fine for further offences.
Right. So are we talking you can't have sex for fun? Or
you can't have a talk, basically.
Oh, you can't have a ham shank?
Yeah. It'd be against the law, and if you do, you get fined.
Shit.
So that was proposed.
14-year-old me would have bankrupted my parents.
Yeah, it was proposed. This is actually true. It was proposed by the state senator in Mississippi.
Right.
But it died in committee on the 4th of February.
Yeah, voted out by men.
Yeah, well, of course, man. Yeah, I mean, there was loads of backlash. Loads of people going, "This is just ridiculous." And then this chap, Bradford Blackmon, he's come out recently and said, "Oh no, I was only joking. It was satirical."
I was only joking, but I mean, technically though, I mean, you're talking about just having a chug, but that would ban you from literally putting a condom on and having sex because you're not intending on fertilizing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So banning contraception.
Yeah,
and banning chugging away on your little bud.
What a strange law! There's a law. I don't know if it applies in America. There's a law in the UK that if you get 1,000 signatures for something, it's got to be discussed in Parliament. So
we've got a similar thing here, though. I mean, it's not 1,000. I think it's a bit more than
100,000 or something.
Yeah.
If you can get enough signatures for something, maybe 10,000. It's not that many because I remember thinking it was achievable because there have been some ridiculous things that they have to discuss it in Parliament because enough people have put signatures on it.
I think that's just a bit of a farce, though, because they bring it up in Parliament and everyone just goes, "This is nonsense." Yeah. We get it. What? So they have discussed it, but then they just dismiss it.
Have you ever watched like BBC Parliament at like 2:00 on a Tuesday? There's like 3 guys in there, one of them sleeping.
Yeah, I know, it'd be a great gig, that, wouldn't it?
Someone's just walking. It's like
get $100,000 a year just to chill out.
I know. Second home.
They've only been in the bar, haven't they? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Go to the bar for lunch, get it all expenses paid, eating their sort of like beef Wellington and drinking half a bottle of whiskey, then pop into the Lords and have a kip.
Yeah, it's a good gig, like you said.
Yeah. I've not done much this week, just to let you know. You know what's been going on in my life in the background, so I've been busy doing that. How about you? Anything interesting?
Well, I went to cheerleading competition last weekend, which was tiring. That was in Blackpool. We booked this little flat, an apartment, and I thought, God, this is cheap for 2 adults and 4 kids. Little, an apartment, bedroom, living room. That was it. Toilet. The toilet was like
type thing, was it?
Kinda, yeah. And it was like the old-fashioned, like Blackpool apartments with a little tarpaulin thing out the front, and Fairview apartments, right next to the pleasure beach. Actually, you could open the window and just look at all the roller coasters. And I thought, God, that's really cheap because I've been skint just now. So it was like 114 quid. We got there, and the woman said, "You haven't booked 4 kids. You've only booked 2." I'm like, definitely booked 4. And I looked, and my booking was for 4, but my confirmation was for 2. So she's like, right, you're going to have to give me 40 quid. There's bed space.
It's just some old woman in the front smoking a fag.
It was.
You're going to have to give me 40 quid here. Like.
She was like her that used to run the pub in EastEnders. She's sadly dead now.
Peggy Mitchell.
Barbara Windsor, yeah.
Barbara Windsor.
Yeah, so the place did stink of ciggies, actually. So she's like, right, 40 quid. So I'm 40 quid out. Because what do you do? It's 8 o'clock at night in Blackpool. You got 4 kids. You can't say, well, I'll go somewhere else then.
Sleep in the car.
So 40 quid out. We go up, and the place is all right. Bunk beds look like they were made in the 30s and stuff. But it was fine. It's bed for the night. We get there, and she's like, right, the lights are free. Everything else you have to pay for. What do you mean? She goes, there's an electricity meter there. Takes £1 coins and £2 coins. Fuck. So we switched the telly on, kids, kettle on, hair straighteners and all that. And I'm starting to feed pounds and pounds and pounds in this thing. So it'd have been much better just getting a posh hotel, to be honest. But
yeah.
But no,
there's one right by the Pleasure Beach called, I think it's like the Blue Hotel.
The Big Blue or something,
the Big Blue, yeah. We stayed in there. It was all right, actually.
It's supposed to be nice, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that expensive. But yeah, I remember like the kids were like really young as well.
Yeah.
And because of the time of day and stuff, because they were so young, we couldn't really go out to the bars and things.
Yeah.
Blackpool's a dump, but it's kind of like you can go out drinking if you want to.
Yeah.
But we couldn't do that because the kids were very young. There was nothing. They don't have like Sky or anything like that. So I just ended up just putting like Family Guy on the telly for him because it was a cartoon. So like 6-year-olds watching Family Guy. It's like, they probably won't get it.
Yeah, hoping they don't get it. But yeah, so did that, and the cheer competition was. My wife Laura is now a coach, so she was busy all weekend. So it was just me and Ted basically just running about the cheer competition. So I took him out in Blackpool for a bit, took him to a play centre and to the arcades and stuff, and it was all right. Other than that, I had a quiet.
Did you go on the pier?
No.
You got the waltzers on the pier. Best waltzers going, I reckon.
Are they?
Yeah, fast.
I have one fear in life, and it is open water.
Blackpool's not the place for you then, is it?
No, it's particularly at night, dark, open water. Even a swimming pool in the dark scares the shit out. But that is the only one thing that really terrifies me.
Really?
So I don't really like piers and stuff. I don't got a fear of water.
Yeah, but you don't go in the dark, do you? You just go in the day.
I know. But like, I can't walk. I've never admitted this to people, but see, like walking around like the Albert Docks and stuff, I've got like a lump in my throat walking around the water there. It's like,
wow, didn't know that actually.
It's my
big reveal.
I know, it's my only real true fear.
Yeah, I don't know what my true fear is. I don't like spiders.
Yeah, see, I mean, I don't. If a spider's on me, I'll go and I'll like flick it off, but it can be running about the room, doesn't bother me. But that open water stuff scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, I don't know, you got me thinking there. I'd hate to be like sort of like stuck alone somewhere. That'd be pretty freaky. That'd freak me out.
Yeah,
particularly if it was cold. I wouldn't mind a desert island because it's warm, isn't it? If you like,
I could stand on the island all day. It doesn't bother me. But it's like
the Arctic. Imagine that. Fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, what we're talking about?
American highways.
American highways. That's right. So I bet
any part of America, like Canada, USA.
Okay. Now, so you bent the rules a little bit last week. I'm going to bend the rules. Well, we'll see how you feel about this.
Okay.
Because my American highway is technically a road.
Right, okay, yeah.
Right. Now, I did look at this, and I don't know what legislation this is, but it comes from a website, which is the ATF website, which is the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives.
Wow.
So I was looking for a definition of highway to see if I could sort of like fit this in. And it says, the term highway is defined in 27 CFR 555.11. I guess that's some sort of US legislation. So it's defining that legislation as any public street, public alley, or public road, including privately financed, constructed, or maintained road that is regularly and openly travelled by the general public.
Right.
Right. So I'm having this as a highway, even though it's called it's a road.
Well, I think what you've just defined is any kind of real road in America. See,
yeah, exactly.
Initially, I thought the highways were like the interstates.
I think they are really, yeah.
Yeah,
I just wanted to kind of justify it. Yeah, I mean, I suppose they are. When we've said American highways, I think that's kind of what we meant.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
I won't lose sleep over it.
No one's listening, are they, really?
No one's listening, no. Just before you start, a quick fact. Do you know that over 1/3 of American roads are unpaved? So no tarmac, just like
oh, really?
Like rubble or gravel or...
Oh, yeah. I think that's
naturally created roads.
Yeah, it's just the beaten path, literally.
Yeah. It's frightening. Over 1/3 are just unpaved roads, but they still got like a name and number and stuff, but they're just not used enough to bother putting tarmac on them.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that a third, it's probably a lot, but I bet there's a lot of roads in America, isn't there? So
4 million miles of roads in America.
There you go. Yeah, so
that's quite a lot.
It's a lot of roads, but yeah. So yeah, I'm going with this. It is a road, not a highway, but as defined by whichever legislation this is and whichever government department this is, it fits into the criteria, I think.
Alcohol and ciggy department.
Yeah, guns, alcohol and ciggy department. That sounds great.
Some pissed guy smoking, fucking holding a rifle right into... I'm going to make some legislation up here.
Yeah, like that, the episode of The Simpsons where he gets a gun, he's like turning all the lights off with his gun and stuff.
There's a Kevin Bridges bit where they're saying about the solution to the school shootings in America was to arm the teachers. He was like, I had a fucking DT teacher. There's no way he'd have had a gun. Just sitting there hungover, shooting 4 into the ceiling to get everyone to be quiet and stuff.
Yeah.
Shut up, you fucking prick.
I know. We had a teacher who had like a proper cock eye, like an eye that goes the wrong way.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Take an aim. Shit. Who's he shooting at?
Fucking hell.
Anyway,
right, go for it then, James. What's your story?
Okay. So, our story begins on Bray Road, Elkhorn, Wisconsin, in 1936.
Wow.
Mark Shackleman arrives at St. Collier's School for Exceptional Children a little before midnight. As the night watchman for the school, he walks around the grounds every night, carrying his flashlight. The school was located inside a former Franciscan convent outside Jefferson, and the grounds covered several old buildings, an orchard, and wide open fields where several old Native American burial ground mounts have been preserved.
It's always a Native American burial ground, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or as we used to say when we were young, an ancient Indian burial ground.
Indian burial ground. Yeah, I bought a hat. Well, I was working for some people I knew doing some conveyancing, and they bought this house, and at the back of the house, sort of partially covering the grounds, covering the boundaries, was just on the plan. It was just this brown area, and the plan was just like unknown.
Oh, really?
So when they were buying it, they were like, "Oh, what's that?" I said to him, "Well, it's probably an ancient American burial ground." Yeah. So they just ran with that and they bought it anyway. So I don't know, maybe the house is haunted. Anyway, Mark Shackleman was in his 30s, a husband and father, working the uneventful job for a paycheck to support his family. In rural Jefferson, there wasn't much to worry about. save the possibilities of a burglar or some teenagers paying a prank. That night, Shackleman was crossing the field when he saw a shadow. He squinted to see what it was. A hunched form was on all fours, digging into one of the burial mounds. The way it dug, it could have been a dog, or maybe a wolf. But even from far away, Shackleman could see that the thing was far too big for that. Suddenly the beast looked at him, and it then stood up on its hind legs. The sleek, hairy body was over 6 feet tall. It had a shaggy canine face, but beneath the thick fur was the muscular body of a man. A low growl echoed across the field, and all Shackleman could smell was the smell of rotting meat. His heart beating fast, trying to control his breath, Shackleman stepped back, and then, with sudden violence, the thing turned and ran off into the trees and was gone. The next night, Shackleman returned to St. Colliot for his usual rounds, and as he walked the fields, he saw the shadow again, digging into the same mound as the night before. This time he gripped his flashlight ready and prepared himself to run or swing if need be. Again the beast stood up, but this time it opened its mouth. Shackleman saw fangs hanging down from its teeth, and its lips pulled back into a snarl. It growled at him, its speech half human, half beast. He didn't move, and again the creature turned and left. He never saw it again, but the horrendous growl, the way it seemed to speak to him, stuck in his mind for years afterwards. And this legend is the first reported sighting of the creature that would eventually become known as the Beast of Bray Road.
Bloody hell. Sounds very much like a werewolf.
It does, doesn't it? With the human sort of body and stuff. So
it went to London.
For that film. Went to London and starred in a film.
Yeah, caused mayhem. Rick Mail was in that film. Did you know that?
He was, yeah. He was in the pub at the beginning, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Don't go on the moors, boy.
I watched that as like a young child.
Good
I
film.
watched a lot of films I shouldn't have watched as a very young child.
Yeah.
You know, the bit that scared me the most was a bus running over someone's head and the head explodes.
Oh, is that in that
all
one?
This mayhem in London.
Yeah, the bit where he changes, that's quite horrible, isn't it? Whereas all his body's like stretching and stuff.
And his mate keeps turning up and he's like more rotten each time.
Yeah. So you gotta kill yourself, like, telling him to do himself in. Cause...
I was like 4 or 5 watching it.
I've not seen that for ages. It's decent.
Yeah. So that's an interesting story. So obviously there's more sightings.
Yeah, so this is the Beast of Bray Road.
Right.
It's a cryptid legend from the United States, as you can tell. Wisconsin. So that's up near the Great Lake, sort of like, where Chicago is? It's kind of up there, around that part. It wasn't really until the 80s and early 90s that it started to get wider public attention.
Right.
So this is the first sighting, and then no one really sort of heard anything about it. For a bit. There were other reports, and then there was a local journalist called Linda Godfrey. She documented the accounts of these sort of sightings and things like that. She wrote a series of articles, but then she later compiled them into a book called The Beast of Bray Road, Tailing Wisconsin's Werewolf. So if you want to pick that up, you can have a read about this. I think it's still in publication. You can probably get it secondhand somewhere. So her work capulated the cryptid into widespread fame, and it does draw comparisons to other legendary creatures like Bigfoot, which we spoke about in a previous episode, and the Mothman, which we'll probably come on to speak about at some point.
Mothman. I saw a YouTube video today of people were playing like Call of Duty, and the Mothman was turning up.
What, in the game?
In the game, yeah.
Oh, right.
So someone's obviously like edited the game and made this like Mothman. And I wondered what this Mothman was that they were talking about. just a big black moth?
Yeah, it's like a big bird thing. Richard Gere was in a film. I think it was called The Mothman. That's another. We could have a look at that. Some could crowbar that into where I think.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's another sort of cryptid. But this is I think more of a beastie, werewolfy thing by the sounds of things.
Yeah.
I mean, there's quite a few stories around America about sort of like wolf type creatures. Sort of Native American tribes have sort of stories and wall paintings and things like that about these sort of humanoid kind of wolf like creatures. And yeah, it's quite a big mystery, really. I mean, we've had Bigfoot, like I said, we spoke about that before. We've got this kind of like, this seems something like a little bit different. It's kind of like, it's not like Bigfoot's like a big ape. That's the majority of the descriptions, but this sounds like it's something more like a wolfy dog type thing.
The thing about like America though is it's so, particularly like, I mean, we talked about the Australian outback, and America's got a very similar sort of, it's not quite as much of a big desert, but there's a lot of nothing. There's like 80-90% of America's down the two sides, and in the middle,
exactly, that's for the big cities. There's so much forest, and like,
so
I mean, I think some of it is actually classed as a rainforest, even though you think of rainforest as like Brazil and things like that. But I think that some of the forests in North America are classed as rainforests as well.
I remember reading something. There's something like 9 official rainforests in the world. I can't remember where they all were, but not just
not necessarily tropical rainforests. Like some of them can be sort of just woodland as you expect it. I mean, descriptions of the beast do vary slightly, but they often share commonalities. Witnesses frequently describe it as a large bipedal creature resembling a wolf or bear with human-like characteristics. Some claim it's got glowing red or yellow eyes, shaggy fur, and an ability to move on all fours or on 2 legs. Others say it exhibits unnatural intelligence, appearing to observe humans before disappearing in the woods. In autumn, or fall, as our American friends like to call it, of 1989, a notable sighting occurred when Laurie and Rizzy was driving home after her shift as a manager of a local bar and grill. As she made her way down Bray Road in the early hours of the morning, she noticed a large figure crouched by the roadside. As she continued driving, she looked back and caught a glimpse of the beast with roadkill clenched in its long claws. Unwaved by the shine from the headlights, the creature stood strong, locking eyes with Enrizi before she sped away. A similar notable occurrence occurred in 1992, when high school student Tom Britcher reported a beast-like figure colliding with his car. And then similarly, in 1999, a young woman driving near Bray Road claimed her car struck something. Upon inspecting the road, she saw a towering wolf-like creature standing on 2 legs. As she sped away, the beast jumped onto her car, but slid off in the rainfall. So there's been quite a few sightings of this. I mean, they're the notable ones. I think there have been others, but they're the big ones really that I could find.
To be honest, it sounds a bit fucking lame. I mean, it's supposed to be this big, like, this big fucking beast, but I mean, it's eating roadkill and it's not attacking anyone.
Yeah, it runs off.
Not kill its own meat, you know? It's like, oh, there's a fucking old rotten badger. I'm going to eat that. Like,
it does sound a bit shit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like this fucking like wimpy beast. It's like,
it's like just feeling sorry for itself. Like,
I'd shit a brick if I saw it and I'd run away, but it doesn't sound like it's that dangerous, really, does it?
Not really, does it? No, I mean, and like, I don't know like about these things.
Yeah.
I think like we if I remember from the Bigfoot episode, we did get a bit of a backlash. Not a great deal. But there were people saying, because I think I said, well, where's the bones and where's the and all that. I think some people did come back and say, well, yeah, there have been bones and hair found, so shut up, basically. So I'll take that on the chin, fair dues, if they found stuff like this. But with this thing, I mean, I'm going to say the same thing. I don't think there's that much evidence to suggest it's a real thing. But who am I to say? But what we'll do next, we'll just have a look through the theories and explanations as to what it possibly could be.
Okay. Just you've got this big 2-footed werewolf thing rooting through the bins for a bit of sandwich. You know, it's not like
they can't even get that. He has to eat badger.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So there are numerous theories regarding the true nature of the Beast of Bray Road. Some are scientific, some are supernatural. Some you've just got crazies going, it's a werewolf.
Yeah.
One of the most rational explanations is the beast is simply just a misidentified known animal, like a large wolf or a bear. So it could be like a skinny bear or a really big wolf. You know, like because bears are known to sort of stand up on their hind legs, aren't they? And Wisconsin is known to have a population of wolves and bears. You know, so that's.
You see,
it's the middle of the night. Yeah. You know, the guys. It always seems to be at night time as well. So, I mean, it's a full moon. Yeah. And I don't know if that's true, but you know, so middle of the night, people are tired, done a long shift or whatever. You see something in the distance that doesn't look quite right. Maybe it's just a skinny bear and it stands up and runs off. And maybe that's, you know, if it's getting roadkill. Maybe, you know, it's hungry or whatever. You know.
I've seen both my dogs stand on their back legs.
Have you? Yeah. So, like, I imagine like wolves could do it if necessary. You know, even if it's just for a second, they just sort of like on their sort of hind legs. So that's the scientific explanation.
Right.
A more supernatural interpretation is that the beast is actually a werewolf or a dogman.
Dogman?
Yeah.
See that at the weekend.
Yeah, not that dogman. Not the funny one. Yeah, so we all know what werewolves are. So cryptids resembling large bipedal canines. Legends of werewolves have existed for centuries, particularly in European folklore. They come out at the full moon, get killed by silver bullets and stuff like that. So that's another possibility. A likely one, maybe. Some researchers and paranormal enthusiasts believe the beast is not a flesh and blood creature, but rather a supernatural entity.
Right, like a spirit.
Or like interdimensional being or spirit. Because some witnesses have claimed that the creature has the ability to just disappear into thin air.
Right.
So that's where that belief comes from. And then
disappear into thin air. You mean the person stops imagining it?
Come on, don't discredit these people. I'm sure you know they come from these stories. They do come from somewhere, don't they? And like, I don't know. It just seems likely that it's probably just an animal, you know. But I don't know. That would come on. Let's keep people interested, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's destroy the.
Let's try and spin another 5-10 minutes out of this.
I suppose another possibility is that it's an undiscovered species. You know, that is a possibility, I suppose, because like we were saying before, it's a vast wilderness out there. It could be a rare species, some sort of like surviving form of an ancient predator, or it could be like an interbred mutation between sort of wolves and dogs. So it's kind of like a bizarre like hybrid.
Yeah, see, I've got a theory similar to that it could be. I mean, you get deformities in things. Creatures that are not quite how they're meant to be, and also, you know, the sort of backwater of America is famous for some of its inbred people and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think humans can breed with dogs. I don't think it quite works like.
No, I know, but it's just it could just be a big wonky hairy guy that someone's seen. I mean, you've seen that family, haven't you?
I know, that's really sad. That I don't like that.
No, they talk by like barking to each other and stuff. And it's horrible. Like they need help. They don't need laughing at. They need fucking help. But
that is a possibility. It's just some sort of like weird hybrid that maybe a wolf found the dog one day and just checked it, and it's kind of a wolf dog thing.
See, real wolves, proper wild wolves, are massive.
Well, yeah,
big, huge things. So standing on their back legs would be 6 foot. Easy.
Yeah, and like if it's a bit down on its luck, it could look a bit scraggly and kind of. Yeah. I mean, I think
a little bit of mange going on.
Mange. Do you like a bit of mange? It's for Halloween.
Oh dear God!
Get some mange later.
It's Valentine's Day.
Another theory is it's just a massive hoax.
Yeah.
And people. What I was going to say actually is that it could be some sort of like interbreeding thing. But if you think about the first sighting was like the 1930s, so like 90 years ago. Yeah. But then the later sightings are sort of the 80s and 90s. So it's like 60, 70 years later. Mm-hmm. So there must be some sort of like a family of them then. It can't just be the same one.
Things do breed, don't they? So I often think though that like the human mind can be incredible, and you can see one thing and your mind can turn it into something quite scary. It can.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I was just going to say. Actually, like in terms of like hoaxes and like mass hysteria, I suppose is the same sort of thing. Like people might not necessarily deliberately hoax things, if that's the right word. But they might just say, "Well, there's rumours of a beast in this area," and then they see a wolf, and they think, "Oh, it's the Beast of Bray Road," It's just because of the outside influence, they just interpret these things as not what they are, basically.
Well, when Erin was younger, when we moved to this house, she had her 7th birthday when we first moved to this house. So she would have been between 7 and 8, and she got a bit freaked out by Pennywise. And
the clown.
Yeah, it's the guy that Stephen King ruined the whole clown industry. Everyone now sees him as something frightening.
Yeah,
I'm sure the Federation of Clowns tried to sue him.
Really?
Yeah. For like fucking ruining it. Kids won't go near us.
Imagine that in court. Yeah.
One side, just fucking loads of clowns sitting on the benches.
Sick.
They all go home in one car.
Yeah. They're coming into the
Guys, keep it down. Fucking hell. But yeah, so she got freaked out by Pennywise, and we put this wallpaper up, and it was like pink wallpaper with kind of white cloudy stuff and glitter on it. And one night she got convinced she could see Pennywise's face in these clouds on her wallpaper. And this went on for weeks and weeks and weeks. We had to put like pictures up where she could see this face in the wallpaper. And it's like, in her head, she's scared of this cloud, and her head's making up that she can see it in the clouds in this wallpaper.
Yeah. That's a human thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so someone could go with a flashlight and they could see a wolf. And the wolf gets freaked out and runs away. And the wolf maybe rears up in its back legs because it gets frightened. And they go, shit, that's that wolfman thing. And like your mind almost wants to see these scary things. That road's haunted. So you go and your mind wants to see a ghost. You don't, but your brain starts telling you there's fucking ghosts.
Yeah. It's called pareidolia. It's where you see things or faces, because it's a natural process for the human mind to sort of see faces and things, and like it's a sort of like your brain wants to interpret something when it's not there. Like that, when you look at clouds, you think that's a tiger eating a turtle. That's just your brain, and that's what's happened there, isn't it? She's seeing this thing. Yeah. It's not there, but her brain's just seeing it because that's what her brain's telling her that it is. So yeah, well, I think I agree. Like people hear about these things and like read about these things, and then go to these places and go, well, this is why I expect to see that there, so therefore that must be that.
Yeah. Something, a young sapling tree makes a shadow, and you see Wolfman.
Yeah.
It is crazy. The mind's freaky, what it can do.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, yeah. So it has had a cultural impact. The Beast of Bray Road. It's inspired numerous books, one that we mentioned above, documentaries. It was in a program called Paranormal Witness. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's good, actually. It's an old program. It's like people telling their stories about sort of paranormal encounters. Yeah. I don't remember this one. I think it was sort of mid-2000s. It's quite old now. If you do come across it, it's worth a watch. There was even a film about it called The Beast of Bray Road. Wow. To be fair, it looks fucking shit.
Really? I'll give it a minute.
Yeah. I think it got like 1.5. Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah.
They gave it like 1.5 tomatoes.
Shit.
It's like a low-budget horror movie. I mean, I might watch it for fun.
Well, we floated the idea of actually watching a movie together tonight, something we haven't done for a long time.
Yeah, watch that.
So, yeah, I might stick that on.
The Beast of Bray Road.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day.
And then naturally, Elkhorn, where this road is, you gotta love capitalism. They've embraced the legends with local businesses sort of putting up shops, going the Beast of Bray Road cafe and things like that. So if you go down that way, you'll see all these sort of like they did in what's the UFO one? I can't remember now.
The one we did the podcast about.
Did we do a podcast on it?
We did the podcast about the
Roswell. That's what I'm thinking about.
The Area 51.
Oh no! If Roswell, the alien crash. Yeah. Yeah, if you go to Roswell, there's all sort of like alien cafes and everything's alien themed. Yeah, of course there is. Because they made it, so they commercialised it. And I think they've done. I don't know if it's as bad as that, but they've done that in this Elkhorn area.
Pencils, rubbers, and rulers with a picture of a dogman on it.
Yeah. So that's there. Anything else to say? It's quite. There has been comparisons to other cryptids.
Right.
There's something called the Michigan Dogman, and this was first reported in 1887, and that shares striking similarities with the Wisconsin creature, suggesting a possible regional link. There's a few others as well.
Yeah.
Some mentioned before, like Native American stories and things like that. There's some theories suggesting a connection between the beast and Bigfoot. While I mentioned that whilst Bigfoot is typically described as more ape-like, there have been reports of Sasquatch-like creatures with canine features.
Right.
So this overlap has led some researchers to speculate the Beast of Bray Road may be a variation of Bigfoot / Sasquatch phenomenon.
So a bit like Goofy. He's kind of like...
Yes,
he's a bit of a dog. He's weird. He's like a dog that has a pet dog.
Yeah. Because he looks like his dog, doesn't he? His dog's Pluto. Or is that his dog?
Well, Pluto, I think, is everyone's dog. They all
passed around.
Yeah, you see, everyone walks Pluto at some stage. But yeah, Goofy's like some kind of half man, half dog thing.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah. So Donald's a duck, Mickey's a mouse, Goofy's a dog, but so's Pluto.
Yeah.
So
it's a bit weird, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like the old one that Donald doesn't wear any bottom on his bottom half, but when he comes out the shower, he covers himself with a towel.
Yeah.
What are you covering?
I never liked Goofy. Donald's my favourite. I like it when he loses his shit. It's like It's felt funny. Anyway, so that's quite interesting. Some variation of Bigfoot type thing with a more wolfy than apey. I mean, that's possible, I suppose.
I do believe that, not that there's Bigfoot, but like I said, the American forests and stuff are that vast that there must be... Animals can, to some extent, interbreed, because you can get like a sheep goat and stuff like that.
A liger.
A liger, yeah. So, you never know. There's freaking bears and wolves and stuff having it away, and you just...
Yeah.
You don't know what can happen, but
What, a horse and a donkey? That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, a horse and a donkey's an ass.
You're an ass.
And a horse and a pony's a mule or something.
A mule, that's it. That's what I was looking at. Yeah.
One's a mule and one's an ass, and one is infertile. So you can never have a second one. There's one combination that is always infertile, so you can never then breed from it.
Oh, right. There you go. Well, that's an example of interbreeding, I suppose. I don't think there's certain species that can't, isn't there? Like dogs and humans. So after all that nonsense, despite many reports of the beast, there's been no concrete evidence to prove its existence.
I'm surprised
there's no physical remains, no clear photographs, no biological samples.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned, the Bigfoot thing, it does sound like there might be some evidence there, whereas with this thing, there's literally nothing. People put up trail cameras, people have gone out with night vision equipment, sound recordings. There's been some intriguing images. I couldn't find any myself. I did have a look and some sounds, but nothing definitive has been recorded. Sorry.
I was going to say, I always wonder about these guys' families. Can you imagine you're growing up and your dad's going out with night vision glasses looking for Dogman?
Yeah, just go out for Dogman.
Yeah, these guys must have...
Let's get that dog in.
But they must have really patient wives. It's like flat earthers that have got like families and stuff, and they're trying to convince everyone that you fall off the edge if you just sail out in the ocean. And
but I think like attracts like. So I think like attracts like, and usually you find where it's like there is a mad guy who stays in the woods for like 3 days looking for Dogman, and his wife's there going, "Yeah, I'm looking for Dogman too."
Yeah,
so I just think if you're that sort of person, you have to attract a particular type of person as well.
Either that, or he's got the sort of wife that she just likes doing her own thing, and it keeps him out of her way a few nights a week.
Having an affair,
maybe. Yeah,
Dave's out dogging this week, so come over.
Yeah. I don't know. These people never find anything. That's the thing, isn't it? Like, it's been going on for years. I can understand back in like the 30s and 40s and stuff where there was still like a possibility of these things being out there. But nowadays, with the technology we've got, we know most of what's out there, don't we?
Oh, I don't know, me. I'm still on the fence. I'm not sure. And I think that what drives people is imagine being that person that finds it. Imagine being that one that discovers this new species, particularly if it's something as big as Bigfoot or this beast thing. I don't think I'm have to sort of put my cards on the table here and say I don't think this is true. But Bigfoot, on the other hand, maybe I'm on the fence. But
remembered, Colin Patterson, the man that found Bigfoot, mauled to death.
He didn't find Bigfoot. Bigfoot found him.
Yeah. But it's interesting. I mean, I love things like this because there's obviously more than one person that believes in it, and these people will die believing in it, and sort of credit to them.
Yeah, they've seen something, haven't they?
Kept the faith, and I know people, particularly my granny Ruby, who's as fucking straight as a die, and she just thinks everything's bullshit. She told me a ghost story that she's like, I still don't believe in it, but I still can't explain what I saw, and things like that. You think, there's always the doubt that it might be true.
But like also though, it's important that people do come out and tell these stories.
Yeah,
because I think that we've done it. We've just done it. We're like ridiculing these people, going, he's crazy. They're crazy, and they've just seen a wolf or whatever. But if that's, I think that's kind of the wrong approach, really, because I do think it's important that people come out and say, well, I've seen this random thing in the woods. Yeah. And, if people suppress these experiences and suppress these kind of like sightings, and then nothing's ever going to get discovered. So, well, we have a laugh about it, of course we do, because what we do.
Yeah.
But I do think like people are reluctant to come out with stories like this because I think, well, someone's going to pick it up on a podcast and just rip the piss out of it. Whereas like that's we're just doing it for a laugh, but it's interesting. They've seen something, haven't they? These people. So
like I've just said, I give full credit to these people that really believe in themselves, and like you said, they've got to be brave and come out and say that they've seen it, because otherwise we'd have nothing to do a podcast about. But also, I'm not ridiculing them. I'm ridiculing the whole situation, really, that there is this thing that everyone believes that's there. But I fully believe that they believe in what they saw, and that's fine. And it's the same way I wouldn't ridicule, people that have religious beliefs, because they really believe in it, and that's great. And I kind of wish that I believed in some stuff that other people believed in.
Yeah, but this one's a bit of a hard sell.
Yeah, there's a bit of a hard sell, but
yeah. So that's the Beast of Bray Road. Like I said, there's loads of stuff on it. If you're interested, go and watch that film. It sounds great. It looks great. And perhaps not a highway, but nevertheless dangerous.
Excellent. I appreciate it, James. That was good. It's been good to just get back to normal as well.
It's good to be back.
Yeah. No.
Right, wicked. Okay, I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah, so we've still got 2 more. I feel like we've been doing this for ages because there's been
gaps and breaks and other people and stuff. Yeah, but that's cool. So you've got one, I've got one. Yeah, and then that's it for American Highways. I think I might do like a murderer next time.
Yeah, there's
because you did a ghost last time, didn't you? You did a ghosty one. Yeah. This is a cryptid kind of one. I think there's got to be some murderers out there.
Well, there's one you need to let me know if you want to do it. There's a real good hitchhiker murder story. So if you want to get your teeth into that, I'll find something else. But
I think there's the freeway murderer or something like that. Anyway, we'll have a look at that next week. So thanks very much for joining us and listening to our ramblings of nonsense. All the socials are at the beginning, I think, as per usual.
Yes, do you know, our good friend Tyler, a fan of the show, joined us. He's pointed out that to find us on Buy Me a Coffee, if you actually search just on Google, Buy Me a Coffee, the most dangerous podcast, we come up on Google. So Google are actually doing a better job of it than Buy Me a Coffee themselves.
Brilliant. So do that. Send us some money because we need it to give you these wonderful experiences. Weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, I'm going before I say something stupid.
I know. Getting out of hand.
All right. Okay, thanks,
Fraser. James.
Yeah, good to see you too. And I'll see you next week.
Speak soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Endrizzy. It's a stupid name. Just call him Laurie.
Laurie and Rizzy.